Today I'm going to share some information with you about Capoeira. Capoeira is a very unique martial art. It is quite possibly more of an art form in itself than many other martial arts. Capoeira is often referred to as a game, rather than a fight, and is played within a circle of bystanders called the roda, many of which play music while the two opponents fight each other. This art form is quite like a dance, putting emphasis on the players showing off their skills rather than intending to knock the opponent down or cause the opponent any other type of harm. For example, many capoeiristas will not even complete their moves to avoid actually hitting or kicking their opponent. They are simply practicing or showing off that particular move to the crowd. Music is essential in capoeira. There are several different types of songs that are sung during each game, and many of the bystanders will play instruments. Depending on the style of capoeira that is being played, the music can be slow or fast, entirely instrumental, or be sung with words. Many times a story is being told with a song, or the bystanders will form a kind of conversation where they will call and answer each other in song, while the capoeiristas exhibit some of their best moves. Instruments are integral, of course, and are played by a row of bystanders that are called the bateria. Several instruments are used, however. The most unique looks like a bow with a stone, called a berimbau. The bateria will strike the string with a stick, and the combination of the bow and stone will create a sound. Each of these instruments have a different name. There's the beraboy, viola, and medio, and it is these instruments that set the beat for the rest of the music. In the capoeira match, you will also see congo-like drums, tambourines, and gongs. The actual art form of capoeira differs with each school that teaches it. However, the same basic principles run throughout every form: respect, responsibility, safety, cleverness, and liberty. Capoeira can feature any type of martial arts moves, such as kicks, sweeps, punches, throws, and rolls. However, some of the more artistic moves featured in capoeira involve cartwheels, head spins, handstands, jumps, flips, and other dance-like evasive moves. As each student of capoeira becomes skilled in the art form, he or she will learn how to feint their opponent. This is called malandragam, and this type of trickery is extremely popular during a game. The player's goal is to fake out their opponent and trick them into performing the incorrect defense or strike in response to the move. This, unfortunately, can anger some players and real fights can break out. For this reason, long ago, the bateria kept knives and small weapons on their instruments to protect them from the players that got violent. Capoeira is largely social and culturistic. It is a huge part of socialization in countries in which capoeira is the most popular. Capoeira was formed by African slaves that were forced into immigration by Portuguese settlers into South America between the 16th and 19th centuries. Most of these slaves came from the area in southwest Africa, now known as Angola. The most popular destination for these African captives was Brazil, and with them the slaves brought their music, traditions, and religions. The oppression caused by slavery was a huge mechanism for capoeira, and the martial art was mainly developed as a way to escape and resist domination that governed their everyday lives. The music was one of the most important factors in capoeira. Not only did it serve as a rhythm for the players to fight to, it helped lift the captives' spirits and gave them joy when there was little other joy to be found. Unfortunately, capoeira took a turn for the worse in 1888 when slavery was eradicated. The now free Africans had no homes and nowhere to go, and sadly many of them created or joined unlawful gangs. Many of these gangs continue to uphold their traditions and practice capoeira within themselves, thus giving the art form a terrible reputation by associating it with illegal activities and crimes. It was for this reason that the government outlawed capoeira in 1890, and if any African was found practicing capoeira, the government would slice the backs of their feet and completely sever the tendon, thus making it extremely difficult to continue practicing capoeira. Of course, the outlawing of capoeira only served to fuel the Africans to play the game more often. However, they were quite careful when the game was played. The ring, or roda, was only held in an area where escapes could be made quickly. The bateria developed a type of rhythm that they could use to warn the players and bystanders that the police were on their way. Players of Capoeira even attributed themselves nicknames so that the police would not easily find out their true identity. Fortunately, the ban on Capoeira was short-lived, and the persecution of the martial art faded around 1918, and the Africans were free to practice a unique art once again. Around the year 1937, a man called Mestre Bimba opened the first school of Capoeira, which led to its eventual legalization by the government. However, not only did Mestre Bimba coerce Capoeira to be legalized, he performed the art in front of Getulio Vargas, the president of Brazil during that time, and the president became so enthralled by the art that he proclaimed Capoeira the national sport of Brazil. Unfortunately, this upset many people that had practiced Capoeira during the years when it was banned, and suffered greatly for it. To them, the sudden popularity and legalization was unfair to the people who had to endure the severity of the outlawing in earlier years. The popularity of Capoeira spread, and almost every continent on the globe has a school for Capoeira. Although this martial art may not be as well known as some of its counterparts, it is one of the few that is so steeped in culture and tradition. Thank you for watching. Hope this has informed you a little bit about what Capoeira is and what it's about. So, thank you.